Okay, so from that to what has been pitched as perhaps a bit of a saviour for Rugby League in the Heartlands, and that is the return of the War of the Roses.
Yeah, so this is the Williams Weekly, and I think we discuss whether I generally think this is a good idea or a bad idea. Now, it shocked me a little bit, this did. So IMG have come in to save the sport and give it more international recognition and bring in sponsors. I didn't. This was out of left field. This one was the fact that they've suggested bringing back the War of the Roses, Yorkshire v Lancashire. I didn't expect it. I don't know if you did. First of all,
well, I'll go a step further. Right. So the idea of growth in rugby league. Right. How are we now at this point where we're talking about bringing back War of Roses, which kind of failed last time we tried it.
It did fail. Yeah.
Right? For a couple of different reasons. We can get into that if you like. But then also on the verge of kicking out London from the Super League. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, how have we got here?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
it's
I
just,
know.
It just seems crackers. Like, if you, like my youngest lad, he knows nothing about rugby league, right? And I was explaining it to the weekend and he was going, well, it just all sounds stupid. You know, and so he was a layman, doesn't understand like everything else that's going on around the game. And he thinks, as like an outsider, who's just like, it doesn't even make sense.
So there were a couple of things that came to my attention when this sort of like press release came out. First of all, is the only way we can get this fixture in is we got to lose an international match, right? So England v France, that'll be off the cards next year. What happened?
But that were a success this year.
Yeah, this is the talking point, I suppose, isn't it? So, do you think we should have an international? Do you think we should keep trying with it? Do you think we should have home nations? Do you think is Lancashire versus England the best for the sport to get a strong England side together? Bearing in mind this will leave Sean Wayne without a fixture, mid-season fixture, heading into a World Cup.
Do you know what I honestly think? I honestly think you could make any of this work.
Yeah,
done well. Just pick one and do it. Let's do it well. I mean, the idea of the War of the Roses is very romantic, isn't it? Lancashire versus Yorkshire. You know what I mean? We can all get behind that because, you know, that's just the way we bred up north. Doesn't really include other parts of the country, you know, and those players. And we talked about, you know, could you have like a rest of the country team? And I don't think that'd really work because what they're actually playing for. So you either put a massive purse, a massive, you know, a bonus, win bonus up to attract the best players to make it an absolute spectacle, or you don't. You know what I mean? You don't do any of it.
And this was the problem with it before. The players didn't get paid enough money. There wasn't a big enough win bonus, if any, I don't think, available to the winners. So if you're a Super League player, do you want another fixture where you're just going to potentially pick up injuries when you're heading mid-season? I think is when they're looking at it. You're not going to want to do it, are you? It's not. It doesn't have that draw of that England shirt.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So you need the biggest draw. You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. Either of these can work, whether you do the War of the Roses route or you do the international route. They can both work, I think, but only if you 100% commit and do it incredibly well. So, you know, the War of the Roses, massive, attract the very best players. You know, even the likes of, you know, some of the best players that are in the NRL to come back and play in it or whatever, but big stars to make it a spectacle at the right venue, at the right time of year, you know, just brilliant entertainment. Similarly with international, you can't have it on some fourth tier like internet streaming channel and expect the rugby league world to watch
as
it.
A curtain raiser to Featherstone v to lose.
No, exactly. This is what I'm talking about. So it does seem, it's just so romantic, this idea of the War of the Roses, isn't it? You know what I mean? It really is. As two proud Yorkshiremen, it is like, it would be brilliant to have a State of Origin-esque War of the Roses. We've tried it before, half-hearted or whatever, and it didn't work. So something different needs to happen. You know?
I think it needs to stay in the past. As much as there's part of me really wants to watch this.
Yeah, like a car crash.
Yeah. But I don't think it's... We're trying to be international, aren't we? We're trying to expand the game, and it seems like you're shrinking it back down to... It's Origins doing this, and like I said, there's loads of fans outside the Heartlands. They've got no allegiance to it. However, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. If maybe if it did work, it would draw in a load of interest because we all watch State of Origin, don't we? And we've got no allegiance to Queensland or New South Wales.
You form an allegiance, don't you?
Yeah, but do you know what it needs? They need to pay somebody, backhander, first 5 minutes.
Adrian Morley.
Massive punch.
Take someone's head off.
Big brawl. Kicks off. And a load of bad blood between the two sides. The only way it's going to work. No. I know I'm like taking the piss when I'm saying that, but I genuinely think there needs to be some like real rivalry between the counties.
Well, when you compare it to like the State of Origin, I mean, that's how it was.
That's how State of Origin got kicked off. Yeah,
and that's they built this rivalry. They built, it means something. And both those teams, New South Wales, Queensland, they have an identity of what it means to play as part of that team. I don't know if the modern day game would afford the ability to create such a rivalry because of these, I've already spoke about these red cards and, the way that the game has gone this year. So
my other talking point in this, which I found fascinating by the statement that came out, is that they said they'd spoke to the clubs and the clubs were reluctant to give up a home game to allow this into the calendar. So therefore, the only way that it works is if you lose the mid-season international.
Or you do a pre-season or a post-season.
But my point. My point is, why are they even asking the clubs?
Well,
no.
They won't release the players, will they? If they're not...
Yeah, but this is my point. They've got too much power.
The clubs?
Yeah, the clubs have got too much power. The IMG should be turning around and saying, this is the plan, this is what we're doing, because this is going to grow the game. We're still having an England international, and we're having a War of the Roses that's going to help pick the England side. And you haven't got a say in it. You're going to lose a home fixture because we don't need loot fixtures anyway. They should be telling them what's happening and not asking them and getting to vote on it.
Okay.
Because they're only going to vote for their own self-interest, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
they're not.
They've all got commercial interest, aren't they? They need to...
Yeah. This may bring in more financially beneficial to the whole sport. Don't give the clubs any... They shouldn't have a say.
Right, just to finish it off, War of the Roses return, good or bad? One word.
Bad.
Okay.
Leave it in the past.